In tonight's special report Spotlight on the Midterms, we turn our attention to the governor's races. Currently, Republicans control 27 governorships to Democrats' 23. 36 states will hold elections for governor next year. 20 are led by Republicans. Democrats are defending 16. But only 7 are considered toss-ups right now. In what's become battleground Georgia, Democrat Stacey Abrams announced she is running. She wants a rematch with our guest, Governor Brian Kemp. She lost in 2018 in a nail-biter election. But before she gets that chance, Kemp will have to fend off a primary challenge. Former Senator David Perdue announced this week he wants Kemp's job. Governor Kemp, thanks for joining us.
Good to be on with you, Brett.
So are you surprised that you're getting primaried in this race?
Well, listen, I've been preparing for 3 years for a really tough reelection cycle. This is a battle for the soul of our state. Nothing surprises me in politics these days. But listen, I've been in the fight. I've been in the fight to keep our economy open, to keep our kids in the classroom, to make sure our churches never closed in Georgia. I've been in the fight standing with our law enforcement officials and our men and women that are on the ground every day. And the other side wants to do exactly the opposite of that. That is what the fight for the soul of this state is going to be about. Them wanting to close down, not having our kids in school, not wanting our churches to be open, not having a great economy, defunding the police. And if anybody else is getting in that fight, you'd have to ask them why.
Yeah. David Perdue, however, in his announcement for running in this primary, slammed you. Take a listen.
Unfortunately, today, we're divided, and Brian Kemp and Brad Raffensperger are to blame. Look, I like Brian. This isn't personal. It's simple. He has failed all of us and cannot win in November.
What's your response to that, Governor?
Well, the guy, I guess, can't get over the fact that he lost to a 33-year-old nobody and is trying to find blame on anybody, and he's not being truthful with people. And while David Perdue was at home playing golf for 9 months, we passed the Election Integrity Act. His campaign and his lawyers, they could have been in the courtroom if he saw all these things going on. They could have challenged the election. They could have asked for a recount. He's just out to blame other people. I'm not doing that. I'm going to be running on my record, which is a dang good one, and I'm looking forward to talking to the voters about that, whether it's against him, anybody else in the primary, and certainly Stacey Abrams.
Do you feel, though, Governor, that you're kind of running against former President Trump? I mean, he's weighed in already on this primary. He weighed in saying this will be very interesting, and I can't imagine that Brian Kemp, who has hurt election integrity in Georgia so badly, can do well at the ballot box unless the election is rigged, of course. He cost us 2 Senate seats and a presidential victory in the great state of Georgia. That's the former president clearly weighing in on this Republican race.
Well, Brett, as I've said before, look, I can't control what other people are saying or doing. I'm worried about what people in Georgia think. I'm running to be their governor, not anybody else that lives around the country or, anybody that's not concerned about this race. You look at my record on election integrity, even when I was Secretary of State, when we didn't have any of these issues going on. I sued the Obama Justice Department to make sure we had a citizenship check. I defended our photo ID requirement in the court of law and won against the Obama Justice Department, and we're going to win against the Biden Justice Department, who's suing over our Elections Integrity Act. Every single Republican in the Georgia General Assembly voted for the Elections Integrity Act, and they ran on their record on November 3rd and had a great night in the state of Georgia, even when people like my opponent lost to a political novice.
So do you think that this primary, the fact that it's happening, hurts Republicans overall in the ultimate goal to win back the governor's race against Stacey Abrams?
Well, we saw in Virginia when everyone's united, it could be very powerful, pushing back against really the federal overreach of the Biden administration, the disaster that we've seen at the border. Georgia's had National Guard troops down there supporting the Border Patrol mission. We saw the disastrous pullout in Afghanistan. We've seen that the policies of the Biden administration and the leftists in D.C. have caused 30-year inflation, supply chain issues, and other things. And it's been the Republican governors, including myself, that have been providing solutions for those issues. And when we talk about that, we can win. But when we get distracted and fight one another, obviously that's not helpful. We're going to win the primary, and then we're going to beat Stacey Abrams in November, just like Glenn Youngkin did.
The Atlanta Braves won the World Series after the All-Star game was pulled out of Georgia. Georgia Bulldogs are in the NCAA finals, even though they had a bump against the road in Alabama against Alabama. It seems like things are going right in Georgia, but it seems like this could be a nasty fight, Governor.
Well, listen, Republican primary politics is tough. You know, I've been through that before. I'm not scared of that fight. That's a decision that someone else has made to create that fight. I can't control that. I'm going to continue to talk to Georgians about what I think they care about: a great economy, having our schools open, having secure, accessible, fair elections. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I was frustrated like everybody else. I worked extremely hard for President Trump and our 2 U.S. senators, but also for our whole ticket up and down the ballot. And we saw mechanical things that we needed to fix in Georgia, and we did, and every single Republican voted for it. But we've also been doing great things with rural broadband to strengthen rural Georgia. We've had great economic development announcements here. We're doing great stuff with transportation and logistics. I mean, you look at our port in the state of Georgia, our 2 ports versus, you know, L.A., Long Beach, and other ports around the country. We're thriving. We're moving goods. We're making sure that Santa Claus is going to be present at Christmas or has delivered at Christmas. And we have a lot of things to be optimistic about in our state. And that is a message I'm going to be running on, not trying to blame somebody else, you know, for my problems or tough times that I've been through.
Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia, we appreciate your time. We'll follow this race.
Thanks, Brett.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.